All right, welcome to Project 3550. This is episode number 5, and check out those doodle skills. So, I've been drawing those things for years, but I kind of wish that I looked like that doodle right now. So, what's interesting to me is that this prep, I'm about roughly 7 weeks into it. And of course, visually, I haven't noticed a lot of progress. I mean, there's been a little bit of progress, but, I'm not really, kind of visually checking myself out. I know for me, it's going to take, a good while before I'm noticing, some pretty significant changes in my physique. So I really haven't been, stressing on it too much. I know a lot of us sometimes we can really get impatient or we're just really excited about seeing more progress. That creates a little bit of issue because we kind of let those unguided emotions take over and we start making decisions that we shouldn't be making. So I've been trying to remove myself from, those visual comparisons as far as, looking at myself frequently, hoping to see some progress, because I really don't want to get into that spot where insecurity creeps in and I start making adjustments that I shouldn't be making. Sometimes it takes a lot of discipline, to adhere to a diet. To grind, if you do have to, lower food and increase cardio and things like that, like you have to adhere to that, and sometimes you have to, grind through that. But it also takes, a lot of discipline to basically kind of have trust in the process. And that's basically what I've been doing thus far in the first 6 to 7 weeks is, hey, let's just trust the process. Let's not worry about the progress so much and just, in a sense, focus on the day ahead and, try to make the most of it. And most importantly, try to enjoy, myself on a daily basis, enjoy the journey. So that's what I've been trying to do. And thus far, it's been going pretty well, as far as progress. I've seen a 195.9 this week. So a new low, but I will say that things, again, weren't perfect this week. The family and I, we got away for the weekend. We went to San Francisco. We went to Half Moon Bay. The weather here in California, specifically here in the Valley, just extreme heat. And you guys have probably seen it's ignited some fires. And heading out to the Bay Area, this was prior to the fires happening. So we got away for the weekend. Without really running into any trouble. It wasn't until we kind of got home and after the fact, where those fires kind of broke out. So I'm very grateful and very thankful that, we weren't in harm's way. So, with that said, we did get away, especially now with the pandemic too. Getting away is kind of a luxury. So it was kind of nice to get away for a few days. And, that was part of my reasoning behind not being perfect as far as, my overall calories and macros and all that over the weekend. It's like, what? Really haven't gotten away too much. So I think I'm just going to enjoy myself a little bit. I mean, I was still fairly mindful. I didn't go crazy. I did have some pizza with the family on Saturday night. It did take my calories up quite a bit. So 3 days, calories were a little bit elevated more than, typical refeed days. And instead of having just one refeed day, it ended up being 3, which I don't think is too much of a negative. If anything, 3 days, a little more food, it definitely rejuvenated me. As far as recharging the batteries, physically, the energy picked up. Recovery's been good. Overall, it helped stress levels. Just getting away from the normal environment, the typical day-to-day routine, just getting away, that was uplifting, as was eating a little bit more food. So it just kind of recharged my batteries. And when we got back on Monday, when I got up Monday to have breakfast, I was like, I don't even feel hungry. So I just bypassed breakfast. I'm like, okay, instead of, trying to, let's say hit numbers as far as, I need to be at this many calories today, I kind of just went off hunger cues. I'm like, I just came off of 3 days of eating. I don't feel hungry, so let's kind of hold off on eating breakfast. I waited till lunch. So in a sense, I only had 3 meals instead of my typical 4 on Monday. Calories were down, but I kind of just figured, hey, it's okay. I'm not really hungry. I just had 3 higher days, so I'm okay to not, get all my calories in today. And, it paid off. The next day I had a new low. And, when I had the team meeting on Wednesday, Alberto mentioned, hey, Jeff, you look like you're progressing. The face is getting a little bit slimmer. So it's always nice to get feedback, from someone that you don't see on the daily. So it was reassuring that, hey, this thing is okay. We're having an okay week for not being, super perfect over the weekend. Nothing really needs to change with protocols. Again, I just need to be super patient, not make any adjustments. The only adjustments I do need to make is maybe just, pick up on that adherence a little bit more, get a little bit more consistent. And again, I think, that's going to be, a little bit easier the more I'm in a normal routine. And, instead of, kind of having that mindset of, oh gosh, I'm not able to do these things, and kind of, look at it as a failure. I'm just, kind of realizing that, hey, under the current environment, I need to focus on what I can do, not what I can't do. And that just gives me a sense of security and a sense of peace. And it just keeps the process, moving forward in my opinion, a healthy way, because I'm not driving my stress levels up. And again, knowing in the back of my mind, this is a year-long process. I'm currently ahead of schedule. So I think, again, it just gives me that wiggle room. So I'm going to go back again to the comment I got in, I think it was episode 2, where, they kind of looked at my timeline and was like, oh gosh, you could definitely lose that weight in much shorter time. And, hey, Lyle McDonald says on his website, you can do it. This science says this and that. But again, I don't view my bodybuilding like I have to follow, perfect rules or perfect guidelines, because I know I'm human. I have context I deal with on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, on a monthly basis. And, think of it like, if I'm a car, let's say I'm a car that's like designed, perfectly, where, science says this car is going to go 200 miles an hour. It can brake in this much distance. It has this turn radius. It has like navigation. It's got all this stuff on this car. It's like just, top of the line, all the bells and whistles. But what it doesn't tell you is, how the roads are. And so I have to figure out how to drive this car on a road that maybe I'm not all too familiar with. So again, it's more or less like I'm human. There's a ton of context I have to deal with. And, I have to try to make the best decisions in the moment that's going to, keep progress in check, or at the very least from going backwards. And, ensuring that, whatever choices I am making, that I'm enjoying what I'm doing. That's super important. Of course, there's a fine line. You don't just want to make choices where, hey, I enjoy eating pizza, so I'm going to eat pizza every night and go over my calories. But I think you guys kind of know what I'm talking about, is that this is more of a lifestyle to me, and one I'm trying to, balance as best as I possibly can. So again, not a perfect week, a good week, and room for improvement. So that's what I'm going to focus on, moving forward, just trying to improve. But outside of that, training is going pretty well. It's been super hot in my gym, 96 degrees on Monday. So that session was a little bit rough as far as, the heat is concerned. But I got through it. And, I've kind of decided that, as far as frequency, I'm trying to aim for 4 sessions per week. But I think I've only made that happen once this prep. So I've been hitting roughly 3 days a week as far as training. So I'm okay with that, because each body part is being hit every 4 to 5 days. So I go upper lower sessions, and 1 week it's 2 uppers, 1 lower. Following week it might be 2 lowers, 1 upper. But again, hitting each body part once every 4 to 5 days. And I know maybe some of you are like, wow, that's not a lot of training. That's not a lot of volume. But keep in mind that I'll just say this, that what gives me peace of mind with that is that I know from experience that, if I'm, let's say, not training for a good 3, 4, 5 weeks, like no training whatsoever, that's when I'm going to see atrophy, but the fact is, I am training, enough to where I'm going to maintain muscle mass. And the rate of loss, I can look at my rate of loss. It's on the conservative side. Again, another reason why I give myself plenty of time to diet, because I have more control over that rate of loss. I can slow things down. I can speed it up. I can maintain it. Again, in a sense, I have a lot of control when it comes to the throttle, if you will. So I know right now the pace is very conservative. So I'm less likely to lose muscle mass because I'm not, let's say, in such a deprived state. Like, my hunger levels are fine, energy is good. I haven't really struggled whatsoever. Stress levels are low for bodybuilding, let's say, but I mean the life stuff, I mean, like any of you guys that are dealing with a pandemic or any other thing in your life, I do have my stressors, but all in all, I can't really complain too much. So things are going well. So I feel like I'm in, full control right now, and I'm enjoying the journey thus far. So I just got to keep chipping away at it. And eventually that weight will get to a point where I'm like, okay, I can actually see something happening here. And usually when that happens, I'm a little more confident about, posting some pictures up and things like that. Like many of you guys, I do have some insecurities. Like right now, at 196, 197 pounds. It's not real fun to take a shirt off and try to flex because there's not a whole lot to flex right now. So yeah, I prefer just to, hey, let's just keep things covered up. Again, it just gives me a little more sense of peace and allows me to focus more so on the other, fine things of this journey. And that is, hey, my training, my family, and all that kind of stuff. So I just, in a sense, choose to not put the emphasis on the visuals right now. So just keep having trust in the process. But other than that, I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you guys have a great week. And remember, bodybuilding, it's pretty trivial. I know it's important for us because it's a hobby, something that we love to do. But remember, we do it because we love it. So don't try to stress yourself to perfection. And enjoy it. Enjoy the ride, and I'll leave it there. Hope you guys have a great week. Be kind to each other, help each other out, and we'll talk more next week.